hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. It is Monday, and for a change, I am live midday. Mostly because, let's be real, I have vacation from work, so I can relax, I can chill, and I can stream when I feel basically when I want to, at the moment, for a week at least. So today I thought, since I didn't stream yesterday, I guess they put out a video. I guess they thought I could stream, but yeah, had some other plans at the end of the day. So put out the video. But for today, we are gonna talk about stuff. We're gonna talk about more specifically about Mikel Merino, because during the weekend, obviously, Arsenal won 2-0 against Leicester City. It was a rough watch. Let's be real, but ultimately, Arsenal managed to get the win by scoring 2 goals. Arsenal scored 2 goals, and both were scored by Mikel Merino in a I don't want to say shocking display of things, but in general, by taking off Raheem Sterling, putting on Mikel Merino as a number 9, Manieri putting in a cross, Merino hitting it in, and then Trossard crossing it far post, and Mikel Merino scoring a goal once again. And yeah, 2 shots on target, 2 goals, which is all fine and dandy in general, because it got us over the line, it got us the 3 points, and Arsenal basically didn't lose any points, because obviously yesterday Liverpool won against Wolves 2-1. It also was a bit of an interesting game. It could have gone either way at some points, but it is what it is. But that sparked a massive debate, a massive overselling in the Arsenal fan base. Let's just put it that way. Because I saw on Twitter, I saw all over social media in multiple platforms saying that he should be our number 9 long term. He could be our out-and-out number 9 full stop to some extent as well, and we should start him as our number 9 every single game until the end of the season, and also in Champions League, and basically until summer, when we hopefully will finally sign a striker. That's basically what it was. And on top of that, there were also comparisons. The people are comparing Mikel Merino to Robin van Persie and players like that. So I thought, why not make a stream? Maybe not an hour one, but maybe for about 30, 40, maybe a bit longer, about the fact that Mikel Merino, as fun as it was, as good as it is, that we have this alternate option in a way, because it's nothing new that hasn't done before. There are people who have subbed on players like that up front, like center backs, to maximum extent as well. We have seen this happen over the history of football. But to go on such a overboard by Arsenal fan base in general, that is not great. That is not great. That is not a good look. And I thought, why not we just discuss this in general? Just give my opinion on it and see what you guys think, what you guys say in the chat, and how you feel about it. So we're gonna tackle all that. Specifically, this basically all stream is gonna be about striker issues and Merino in general. So of course, if you're new around here, subscribe, smash the thumbs up, smash the like button, subscribe, and yeah, leave your thoughts down in the live chat and see where this leads us, of course. But yeah, we're gonna kick things off with general stuff about Mikel Merino. The fact that Arsenal signed him last summer. Arsenal signed him. I need to fix this now as well. It should be something like this. Arsenal signed Mikel Merino for 40-something million from Real Sociedad. It was last year of his contract. It was a big debacle. Arsenal genuinely pushed the narrative of signing him for far too long. It felt like it was about 55 years until we signed him. But ultimately, Arsenal did the job. It took us much longer than it should have been, but it is what it is. Mikel Merino, so far this season, has played 17 games. He has 4 goals and 1 assist. Before he played at striker, he had 2 goals and an assist in general. Now, this was the first game in his career. In his words himself, he has played at striker. Mikel Arteta, on the game day in the morning, told him that he's going to be a striker. He's going to get used as a striker. And he was a bit confused, obviously. He was a bit shocked in that regard, because he has never played there. Why would he put him there? And when he came on, it was a bit of a, I don't want to say comical situation, because the guy has never played striker. You don't know, if you haven't played striker, you don't know how to make moves, how to run in open spaces and everything, right? And it was a bit of a funny one, I'm not gonna lie. But at the end of the day, there were 2 points when basically he scored when it mattered. When Yeri put in a brilliant cross, and Mikel Merino managed to head it in. 1-0 Arsenal. Then on a counter, Trossard crosses at far corner. Good, actually quite decent run, let's be real. By Mikel Merino, far post. One such finish, and it is 2-0 game, set, and match. 2 shots on target, 2 goals. Seems quite phenomenal. Genuinely seems quite phenomenal that Arsenal have this new option, because Arsenal have this weird thing that they tend to find things that other teams don't use that often, let's just put it that way, like set pieces, for example. And we were scoring also set pieces at an alarming rate over the last season and a half, let's just put it that way, season, especially this season, early stages, end of, it got sussed out. Let's just say it as it is. It got sussed out, it got figured out, and everything was basically going down the drain in a way, because we hadn't scored a free kick and a set piece for quite some time. I didn't actually check the stats, but I don't remember Arsenal scoring like an out-and-out corner like they used to with Gabriel and players like that in about 5, 6, 7 games, if not even more. A direct free, from a free kick or a corner. And it's a bit of a worrying. It was a bit worry, but it was bound to happen eventually, let's be real, because it just, you can push the narrative just so far until it gets figured out. And Arsenal got it figured out, and we basically lost a threat we, well, got cussed for. It was laughable to some extent, but actually it was brilliant as well, because if it was that easy, why nobody else was doing it? If you cannot defend it, it's not our fault, it's your fault. At the end of the day, it is what it is. It's nice to have an extra dimension to basically go in and score another goal, because Arsenal at the time as well, especially at those times, were not that resilient and not that pragmatic and not that creative to score goals from open play. We saw that against Manchester United was a prime example, because as much as I don't look at stats, I do look at stats, but I don't take them for granted. For example, if we look at the Man United game before the FA Cup game, it was in the league, Arsenal had 0.6 GA from open play, and we had 1.4 something GA from corner kicks, which ultimately led us to the cumulative XG to about 2. And every Arsenal fan was running around and said, see, we had XG, we scored 2 goals, we had 2 XG, it was all fine and dandy. But it was from set pieces. And it was just a matter of time until they will not work. It was just a matter of time. And as soon as they started to dry up, our goal scoring threats also started to dry up. And that was a big, big issue. Now, it looks like Arsenal, in a way, have found a different solution for their ongoing striker issue. We sold Aubameyang, well, didn't sell actually Aubameyang, we let him go more than 3 years ago now, and we haven't replaced him since, which is very, very poor from Arsenal's standpoint of view, because no matter what kind of strikers we have had over the years, Arsenal always were known for being a team that had fantastic strikers. Let's just put it that way. Arsenal were known to being a team that have very fantastic strikers in terms of Thierry Henry, Anelka, Adebayor, Ian Wright, Kevin Campbell, of course, Anelka, to some extent, Alexis Sanchez, Robin Van Persie. You could actually add Olivier Giroud to a certain extent, although he was also at times hit and miss. We were used to known for having great strikers, and of course, you can throw in Aubameyang in the mix. After all these, we haven't had a striker. And Mikel Arteta, since he's been here, he actually hasn't signed a striker as well, which is a big, big issue, because he signed Jesus, but let's be real, Jesus is not out-and-out striker. He signed Havertz, which he said he's signing him to play as a midfielder, yet it didn't work. That experiment didn't work. He throws him up top, and it worked to some extent. He went on a purple patch at the end of last season, second part after Dubai trip, and that kind of made Arteta believe that we don't need a striker, hence why we didn't sign a striker as well last summer. And now we are paying the ultimate price in that regard for it, in my opinion, because one thing that Arsenal, despite the injuries, despite the lack of depth, what is missing is a proper striker up front. Genuinely missing is a proper out-and-out striker up front who is a proper bagsman. Because the amount of chances we have created despite everything, if you had a proper striker up front, we would be scoring, let's just say, substantially bigger amount of goals. Let's just say it as it is, because the amount of chances that, for example, Havertz has missed when he has played as number 9, Jesus has missed when he has played as a number 9, even Trossard to some extent when he has played as number 9, is actually to some extent embarrassing. Let's not beat around the bush here, because if we have a proper striker, I think about 30%, if not even more, chances of that ones we miss are going in the back of the net. And at the end of the day, that basically means that we wouldn't be 7 points behind Liverpool, for example, in the Premier League, in my opinion. We would be at the top of Premier League. Because the games that we have basically drawn or lost even could have been easily rectified if we had a proper striker. 10-man against Brighton, for example, Havertz goes one-on-one, shoots it straight at the keeper. More chances than not if we have a proper striker like Ivan Toney, Ollie Watkins, even maybe Benjamin Šeško, right? We scored that chance and we win 2-1, right? Game against Manchester United in the FA Cup. Havertz misses from 6 yards out, he misses from 2 yards out, emptying the chances pretty much. If we have a proper striker, most likely we are still in the FA Cup. We play in the next round against Leicester City, at home by the way. More chances than not we win that game and now we progress into the next round. Same goes for Newcastle. As much as Newcastle destroyed us, we didn't look up to par, especially in the second leg. Both of the legs were basically a game where Arsenal didn't pose too much threat. In second game as well, it felt like Newcastle were actually the one team that was 2-0 down, they needed goals. We didn't have that spark that basically could have created and scored something out of nothing. Because what we need up front is basically a guy who basically either sits in the box, can drop a shoulder, put down the ball, and just bang it in the top of the net. Top of the bottom corner, whatever. We just need a goalsman up front. And that is arguably one of the biggest issues Arsenal have at the moment. I'm not talking about substitution issues, not investing money properly to have proper depth in the squad. The striker is one of the biggest issues. And the fact that we haven't resolved this issue 3 years after we have basically let go of Aubameyang, for a club like Arsenal, for a club that is top 3 club in Premier League in England, one of the biggest clubs in the world football, is utterly disgraceful. It's a sackable offense alone, in my opinion. So that genuinely is not good at all, especially given the fact that we have spent almost 800 million in the transfer windows over the last years, and most of the money has gone to sign defenders and sign midfielders. Our attack, we have spent about 120, 130 million only on the attack. Rest of the money have gone to defense and midfield. That is not good look. And even if you look at the forward options we have signed with that money, you have Willian there, you have Jesus, you have Marquinhos, Trossard, and if you want, you can add Havertz there. So that's definitely not how a big club should operate. And people say, oh, we did not have options, oh, we did not have anyone to sign. There were options. Let's be real, there were options. Especially if you pay the right price, right money, right amount of money, anyone will move. It's just about the money. Money talks at the end of the day, especially in footballing world. Let's be real. And to look at some deals that went through in January for strikers as well, and also in the summer, it's a shock in a way. Let's be real. It's a shock that Arsenal have not signed a striker. It's a disgrace, I'm not gonna lie, but it's also a shock to maximum extent in my opinion. But Arsenal now are in phase 5, phase 5.5, we are basically closing into phase 6, slowly but steadily, and we are resolving playing a number 6, our number 6 or number 8, how you look at things, as a number 9. That is not how big clubs should operate, let's be real. You wouldn't ask Pep Guardiola to play Rodri as a striker. Wenger wouldn't play Patrick Vieira as a striker, let's be real. Barcelona wouldn't ask who could even they have them as a number 6. They don't even have one. But for example, they wouldn't ask Busquets to play as a number 9. And if we want to achieve things, one of the main cores we need to get is a number 9, because one of the biggest things that keeps the whole team together and allows team to push forward is the core, right? Is the spine of the team that goes down the middle. And that basically is the striker, the number 6, the center backs, and obviously we are lacking quite heavily in the forward department in that regard. And people think that the others ones will pick up the slack. No, they won't, because Martinelli is out for still a month. Saka is not coming back till the end of the season, at least I don't think so. There are reports saying that Saka might be back still this season, but personally I wouldn't rush him back. Give him the rest, give him the proper recovery. Don't push it, because you're risking him getting bigger injury than before. And that could end his career as well. Havertz is not it, he's out till the end of the season. Jesus has mashed up his knee once again. He has mashed up both knees multiple times, which means he is not the guy. We will even struggle to let him go. He's on 250 grand a week, something like that. And who's gonna pay that money? That is also not the case. And now going back to the point that we are playing number 6 as a striker, that is utter disgrace. But Arsenal are now, under Arteta specifically, very well known for these things. Playing players out of position. Just in case. Maybe it hits, maybe it doesn't hit. Let's be real. Because we play Thomas Partey as a right back half the time. And let's be real, it's not it. Timber, our right back signing, plays as a left back. We play a midfielder as a left back in Miles Lewis-Skelly. We play a midfielder as a striker in Kai Havertz. And we rotate all across the pitch. People are annoyed with the fact that Trossard was coming on as a super sub. Now he's starting and not having an output. But at the same time, how can you have an output from a forward if basically every single game Arteta has to do a coin toss and decide which of 3 positions he can play, and whether it's going to be a center forward, whether it's going to be a left wing, whether it's going to be a number 8 or a right wing? That also doesn't fly. That doesn't fly. How can you get any consistency in performances if you play a player all across the pitch? That is also not sustainable and not working. And now I'm sitting on social media, I'm looking at certain things, and I'm reading these kind of things. For example, this kind of tweet, the composure, he is like Van Persie, Mikel Merino. In what world are you comparing Mikel Merino to Van Persie? Like, where does that make sense? Van Persie in the recent times arguably has been, in the last decade, arguably our best striker. Let's be real. And we sold him off to Manchester United because Van Persie wanted to win trophies. Arsenal said, well, we are not going to do that here, let's be real. And he instantly gone there and won for you Manchester United that title. Instantly. And that's the worst part in all of this. Yes, United's philosophy in that season was basically hoof it up to Van Persie and pray for the best and that he scores. But it worked. It worked. They won the title and everything, and nobody's complaining about that. Let's be real. Nobody is complaining about that. And then you can go on top of that and you can see people are saying, let's talk about Mikel Merino's positioning and timing. Yes, the fact that he was in the right positions makes sense, but he has to be there. He actually has to be there to get to the ball. If you are a striker, you have to be in the box, which is something we don't see that often from our main strikers we are using as strikers per se. Because Havertz has to play partially in the midfield to link up the play. He drifts out wide to the right. Same goes for Jesus, they never are in the box. And when we cross the ball to Jesus, for example, what's the point in crossing ball to Jesus, who is like 5'9"? How is he gonna win a header against Dan Burn, for example? Against Schär, against Ruben Dias, against Van Dijk, Konate, against players like that? That's never gonna work. Havertz as well, he's very average in the air. You would think that the guy who is 6'4" tall actually has some heading ability, but he has no head. Let's be real. And now that we have Merino, he scores 2 goals, Arsenal fanbase is going into meltdown and overload. In a bad kind of meltdown, because solutions are center forward issues for now. He could be, but that shouldn't be your main option. He shouldn't be the main outlet in the attack. People are saying start him every game as a number 9. That should not be the case. We should have a striker. We should have players who can score goals. We shouldn't rely on a random midfielder to go as a number 9 and score goals and bail us out of the games. We are Saka FC as it is. Now we are putting everything on Ranieri's shoulders, a teenager again. Arsenal do that every single time. Did it with Fabregas, Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, Nasri, Wilshere, Ramsey. They have done it before and they're going to do it again. The thing is that it works. That is the biggest kind of, I would say, miracle that it works. It has worked out through the last decade and a half, and it's still working. And they're carrying our team. Arteta is very lucky, to maximum extent very lucky. First of all, that he's in Arsenal's job, but that there are some youth players that actually can carry the team to this extent. And let's be honest with ourselves as well. If everyone was fit like it was last season, if we avoided injuries like we did last season, none of these guys would get a chance to play. Because Saka would be playing every single game, Odegaard would be playing every single game, Ranieri wouldn't get a kick off the ball. Move on to left back. If Calafiori, our marquee signing by the way from summer, doesn't get injured, he plays every single game pretty much. Or Zinchenko plays there. And obviously he doesn't rate Tierney, but Miles Lewis-Skelly would be like a 3rd, 4th choice only. So Arteta is very lucky that we have youngsters in the team that actually can step into the first team instantly. Now, if we flip it obviously to the other side, I think, the fact that we needed a backup for Bukayo Saka and Ranieri is stepping up big time, That is kind of solution where we maybe not don't need to spend as much money. Because Ranieri is only 17. I think until like 19, 20, he's not gonna basically throw his toys at the pram and start to demand be a starting role. On the other hand, he maybe can try and play Ranieri as a left wing. That also could work. Who knows? But obviously, yeah, it's Arteta is very lucky in that regard. But the big thing is what I'm talking about here. For strikers, he is not the long-term solution, especially for these guys who tweet out stuff like this. Mikel Merino is the second coming of Robin van Persie. I'm sorry, but get a life. I'm very, very sorry, but get a life. This cannot go that way. This genuinely cannot go that way. This is utter and total disgrace. Because Merino, yes, subbing him on as a striker, it's all cool. It's an option to have. It should be an option to have during games when going gets tough. Just like teams tend to sometimes sub on the tallest guy in the team up front because they're gonna start and cross the balls. We have seen these indications of Arsenal crossing the balls throughout the whole season, and one of the prime examples, obviously, was Inter Milan with 46 crosses. Obviously, then we were crossing to small guys. Now we are crossing to Merino. That's a bit different. Obviously, also getting a cross on point is also a big part of this, and Ranieri did that. Trossard also did that, and the finishing as well. How comes in our team, our defenders, our midfielder, by the way, has better finishing than our attackers? How does that make sense? This team generally feels like they are built backwards. Because our defense can score, our attack cannot. How does that make sense? And for these guys now to scream that Merino is the second coming of Van Persie, but Merino is the long-term solution for Arsenal at striker, he's not. He is not. No matter how you look at it, he's not clinical enough. He has turning circle of about 65 to 10x put together. He's not that fast. His first touch is somewhat decent, but not excellent. And push comes to shove, you will not rely on him to score a goal in the deciding moments of the game. And that is the biggest case. Arsenal, in 5 years, phase 5, are resulting to play their number 6 as a striker. Where does that make sense? 800 million spent. This is all on Kroenke's and Arteta. Yes, this is on Kroenke's, but also a big part of the blame has to be put on Mikel Arteta. He had 800 million to sign a proper striker. But he doesn't do that. He has spent about 300 million on midfield, about 400 million also on defense, and then the rest of what he has left, he has spent solely on attack. And those attackers also, they are not starters, they are no guarantees, they are just players who fill some holes in the team. Because what does Marquinhos bring to the team? Oh, he's not even at the team, he's still in Brazil in a new team. Like, let's be real, what did Willian bring to the team? What Jesus has done to the team, because I'm a big fan of Jesus. I used to be as well. And we signed him from City for the first half of the season till Qatar World Cup. He was fantastic, actually. Let's be real. The way he was moving, the way he was linking up play. Yes, you would ask him to score some more chances because he was missing chances already then. He comes out in an interview and says that scoring goals isn't his main trait. And we all can see that. But if he's your main striker, that should not be the case. Let's be real. And now we are looking at these things, and yeah, Jesus meshes up his knee. He goes down injured. We have to play Nketiah at striker, who again is not good enough. Let's be real, we got rid of Nketiah last summer. And we didn't replace him, that's the worst part. We had Chidobe Martin, he was looking at Arsenal's striker situation. He said, well, screw this, I'm going to United. Although at the moment, he probably would be starting, let's be real. We have Butler Oyedeji, who we can play as a striker from the youth academy, who's 22. It looks like we're gonna let him go for free in the summer because he's 22 and he hasn't had a single second in the Arsenal's main squad. We had Mika Biereth. We sold him for 3 million to Sturm Graz last summer. Then comes January transfer window for 12 million. He moves to Monaco. By the way, in Monaco, in 2 weeks, Mika Biereth has scored 2 hat-tricks. He has 7 goals in 5 games. Like, make it make sense. Mika Biereth was one of those players Arsenal actually fought hard for to get out of Fulham's academy when his contract ran out in the academy. And then he doesn't get even a kick for the main squad in the big games. In the games in general in Premier League. He was one of those guys he actually wanted to see at Arsenal to play striker, see how he does. Same goes for Fowler and Balogun. He wanted to have some guaranteed minutes. Arteta said, no, 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 no. We have Havertz, we have Nketiah. We are selling you. He went to Monaco. Yes, he's injured. His career hasn't worked out. Obviously, it's a good deal of business selling him after that one season at Reims, right? But overall, he also didn't get a chance at Arsenal. And that now raised the question, can even Arteta coach a striker? Because when he was at City, City didn't have strikers. City didn't have out-and-out strikers. They had false nines and everything. They had Aguero, okay, but most of the time they played KDB as a 9. They played Foden, Grealish as a 9. They played Zinchenko as a 9. Jesus was playing as a 9, and he was mostly as a right wing, left wing predominantly. Still, his best goal scoring record is 14 goals a season. Like, where does that make sense? Which club operates like that? And that is a big, big issue for me personally at the moment. Very big issue. Because we have still 13 games left in Premier League. 13 games in Premier League. That's not including Champions League. We are allegedly still in the title race. For me, the season is over. I'm not going to lie to you. For me, season is over. We are not winning the league. Because I know that Liverpool are going to drop points. The issue with this is, will Arsenal pick up the points when Liverpool drop them? And will Arsenal remain consistent enough to not to drop them? We need to go basically on, again, another 15-game unbeaten streak like we did last year to have any chance to win the games, because we have, as I said, 13 or 14 games left in Premier League, right? Liverpool are 7 points clear. At worst, that is a 3-game swing, which ultimately means Arsenal need to win 3 games and Liverpool need to lose 3 games. And that doesn't include the fact that Arsenal still need to play Chelsea away. Arsenal still need to play United away, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, away. We still need to play Newcastle at home. We still need to go to Anfield, by the way. We still need to play Nottingham Forest in 2 weeks, in a week and a half, and everything. We have a rough schedule. We still have a rough schedule to go. And obviously Liverpool's games also are not the easiest. I think their next 3-4 games pretty much could potentially define and determine where they're going to finish in the league. Because if I'm not mistaken, in Liverpool's schedule, right? Liverpool's schedule at the moment is like this. They need to play Villa, City, and Newcastle in the league. Those 3 games pretty much are going to determine for Liverpool, will they win it or not? Because after those 3 games, they have quite easy schedule. They have Southampton at home, which they definitely will win. They have Everton at home, Fulham away, West Ham at home, Leicester away. Obviously, in these games, they have very easy times. They need to play Spurs at Anfield, but Spurs obviously with their high line, if Liverpool don't get major injuries, nothing's gonna happen. Chelsea away will be an interesting one, but Chelsea are in a downfall at the moment, massive one, and they are not most likely gonna get anything, maybe draw at best. And of course, game week 36, Arsenal are playing Liverpool at Anfield. Arsenal haven't won at Anfield in 12-13 years. For us, if there is even the slightest of the gaps, we need to win that game. Let's be real. It's a must-win game. If we are in a striking distance for the league at that time, in any way, shape, or form, it's a must-win game for Arsenal. No matter how you look at it. Obviously, in between there's Champions League and everything, but it's a must-win game for Arsenal. Crystal Palace on the last day for Liverpool, that probably is going to be a win. Then they have, of course, as well, they have Brighton in the weekend when we play Newcastle at home. That again is gonna be a rough one, because if we look at Arsenal's schedule in the upcoming times, in the nearest fixtures, right? It's not looking too rosy, is it? We have West Ham at home, which is a must-win game, right? But remember last year, West Ham at home, how that went? We lost. Like, that doesn't fill me with confidence, especially with our striker issues. Then we have Nottingham Forest away. Nottingham Forest away is gonna be a rough one. Yes, we beat them 3-0 at home. But to some extent, it was very opportunistic for Arsenal, because it was straight after international break. If we played this game against the Nottingham Forest before the international break at the time, it would have been a completely different story, because Chris Wood wouldn't be injured, and he would have played first of all. Second of all, they were on a run. They were in a very good form before the international break. So arguably that was a very opportunistic time, because Arsenal also weren't too good themselves at the time as well. Then we have United away, and we struggle against United away. No matter how you look at things, no matter how awful United have been, it's not a good, easy game for Arsenal, no matter how things are. Then we have Chelsea at home. It's a must-win game again. Last year we won 5-0. Do we think we're gonna beat them again this year? Who knows? Fulham at home. Should be a winnable game. At the same time, what happened last year? We drew to 10-man Fulham. We have drawn against 10-man Fulham. That's not the case. Everton away. Everton is one of our bogey teams. Under Moyes, Everton as well are balling at the moment, because in the last 5 games, Everton haven't lost, I think, as well. They have pretty much 4 wins and a draw, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. It's not looking too good. Brentford at home will be a tough one. Ipswich away, depending on how things look in the league, by the way. Who knows? Because they could be, for example, in the relegation battle. They might be close to not being relegated, so that might be a rough one for them. Palace at home should be a win. Bournemouth at home will be a rough one. They absolutely destroyed us away. So who knows what's going to happen at home. Bournemouth are one of those teams that is hit and miss in general. Either they're very hot or they're very cold. Just like Brighton, for example. Then, of course, we come to Liverpool away, which, as I said, we haven't won there in 12 years. So that's going to be hell on earth. Newcastle at home. Well, we have played Newcastle 3 times this year. We haven't won a game. We have lost all 3. Goal difference is, I think, 6-0 or 5-0. We haven't even scored a goal against them this year. We have had, I think, about 3 shots on target against them at St. James Park. Obviously, this game is at home. Last time we played Newcastle at home last year, we won. But who knows, if Newcastle are going for Champions League at the time, which they are doing right now, and they're still, again, in the Champions League spot, or let's just say 2 points away, it's going to be hell on earth. And let's be real, playing, for example, against even Bournemouth, right? Or Crystal Palace, or Ipswich, playing against these teams at the end part of the season, where one of the teams maybe needs points to avoid relegation, or get top 7 to get in Europe, or one is going for the title, or one's for relegation, it's 10 times more difficult, for example, than if Arsenal play Crystal Palace in game week 35, rather than when they play Crystal Palace in game week 12, for example, when we won 5-1. Because it's 2 complete different games, less pressure, different circumstances, different everything. You never know how it's going on. You're never gonna know. And Southampton away in the last game of the week of the year. Obviously, Southampton will be relegated by then, because they have, in 25 games, they have 20 losses, right? They're gonna get relegated. But against Southampton, for Arsenal, in some weird reason, is a bogey team. Remember the last 2 years ago when they were in Premier League? We had to win against them. We lost to them at St. Mary's. It's not gonna be a good look for Arsenal. It generally could not be a good look. And given our striker issues, attacking issues in general, it will be hell on earth. Big up Pepper. Big up. Vacation from work for a week so I can do some day streams as well. Hopefully I will do more than one though. Hopefully. So, Arsenal don't have the easiest of schedules as well. We just look at Liverpool's. Yes, they have some rough games, but towards the end part of the season, they have a smooth sailing. Arsenal have these tough games scattered all around. Because look, Arsenal play, for example, West Ham must win, Nottingham Forest a 50-50 one. You have Newcastle, Chelsea, then we have a few easier games. Then again, we have Bournemouth, Liverpool, Newcastle. It's all over the way. It's all over the place. I'm working, so I might not be as interactive with them. Oh, thank you for dropping in from work, by the way. I do that as well. When I'm at work, I listen to other streams. On occasion, I drop something in the chat, but otherwise, I'm just listening predominantly like a podcast. I do the same thing. I'm not gonna lie, I do the same thing. But yeah, it's actually it's quite rough. It generally is quite rough when you look at it in striker situations, because this is something I wanted to share with you. I hope you can see this. These are Arsenal's top goal scorers, and these are Arsenal's assist leaders this season. These are the players Arsenal are relying on. Kai Havertz in 21 games has 9 goals. He is our top goal scorer. Kai Havertz, who misses about 60% of chances he gets. He is our top goal scorer with 9. Next one is Gabriel Martinelli. In 22 games, he has 6 goals. Another one who has no confidence almost in him whatsoever. Then there's Bukayo Saka, a guy who hasn't played in 2.5 months almost. In 2 months almost. He has 5 goals. He's the 3rd in the goal scoring ranks. Then there's Trossard. Then there's Merino, who scored 2 days ago 2 goals. He's the 4th, our top goal scorer. And if you look at things even, we have Merino, Party, Gabriel Magalhaes, Saliba, Riccardo Calafiori, Declan Rice, Urian Timber, Miles Lewis Skelly. We have 8 people, 8 players in our top goal scoring form. 8 of them are defenders from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Out of 15 players that have scored goals for Arsenal this season in Premier League, out of 15 players, more than half of them are defenders or midfielders. And those are defensive midfielders. There's not even Odegaard is there. That's the only one. Over half of them are midfielders or defenders. So what are our attackers doing? Like, seriously. And how we are 25 games into the season and we don't have a single player in double-digit goals. Still. Whilst other teams have players in reaching 20 goals already, by the way. I'm talking about Liverpool and then even to some extent Chris Wood with Nottingham Forest. Even other players. How comes they are 15 and above while Arsenal cannot even scrape 10 goals? Oh, but we spread the goals around. 100% guarantee you. If we had a proper striker up front, that guy, instead of Havertz, would be on about 18, 19 goals. Given the chances Havertz misses every single game. And now if we look at assists, right? Bukayo Saka is on 10 assists in 16 games. 10 assists in 16 games in Premier League. 10. Again, he hasn't played for 2 months almost. And nobody is near him in assists. Trossard has 5. Rice has 5. Martinelli has 4. Havertz has 3. Odegaard has 3, by the way. Odegaard, our creative attacking spark going forward and for goal scoring. Martin Odegaard, 17 games, 2 goals, 3 assists. He's the creative spark. He's the guy who's going to solve our issues. Because when Odegaard was injured, Bukayo Saka stepped up still. He was still assisting, he was still scoring. Now that Bukayo Saka is out and we need someone to step up. No. Those are not our experienced veteran players. No. It's not our captain. It's goddamn 17-year-old teenager Nathan Manieri who is stepping up to the challenge. Make it make sense. Which team operates in these situations like that? These assist numbers are actually embarrassing. 14 players have assists this season. 14. Saka has 10. Rest of them have at best half of that. That is not a good look for Arsenal. That is genuinely not a good look for Arsenal. And if we look at the games we still have to play, it is worrying. It is worrying because with our attacking and creative issues at times, it's very hard to see from where goals are going to come from. I can see from where, but can we finish even? Because we get chances during games. Let's not kid ourselves. We get the chances. But do we trust these players who are up top? Raheem Sterling, Trossard, Ethan Manieri, Martin Odegaard even, to score the goals? The sad and mad part and the crazy part in all of this is, I trust Ethan Manieri, a 17-year-old, more than I trust Trossard. Then I trust Raheem Shillings, obviously, he's genuinely done and dusted. And then I trust our captain. And let's be real, Odegaard shouldn't even be our captain, it should be Gabriel. Gabriel should be our captain, not Odegaard. Like, what are we doing here? I said in the beginning of the stream, this club is built ass backwards. And that's what it is. Our defense is our main strength, let's be real. Our defenders have better finishing and better scoring ability than our attackers. And most of the time, we rely on our defenders to basically win us the games. Defenders, midfielders, to win us the games, not our attackers. How can this team even... It's a miracle that this team is where it is currently. And to some extent, you can put to the argument the fact that as much as it's weird it's going to sound, Mikel Arteta is overachieving with this team. He is overachieving with this team. Because based on the team that we have built and the team that we have no business to be in a title race, quote unquote, 3 years in a row. We have no business. Because with the team, with the depth, with the ability of players that we have, yes, we have a solid top 4 squad. That I'm going to give you. But to be in a title race, it's a massive overachievement. Now, whether you're going to put this down to Mikel Arteta being the best manager since sliced bread or what, it's up to you. The way I see these things, Mikel Arteta has been super lucky. He's the luckiest manager in the world. Because Aubameyang handed him the FA Cup. Of that, he got 2 more years. He gets a new contract. Bukayo Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe, 3.5 years ago, 3.5 seasons ago, saves his job. Then he signs Ben White. That doesn't work out. He has to do something. He puts him at right back, and it works like a charm. Then he has a hole in the center back. What can he do? Oh, finally he decides to play Saliba as a center back, which he was loaning out all the freaking time. That works out again. Utter complete luck. Then he continues. Everything goes on. He signs Havertz. What the hell we gonna do with him? Doesn't work in midfield. Arsenal go 1-7 in December. Yes, we were in a title race by then, but if we were continuing like that, we would have been at best 4th that season, right? 3rd or 4th, right? Nowhere near the title. What he does, throws Havertz up top. Basically throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. And it stuck. Havertz went on purple patch, we were blitzing teams, 15 1-1, and we almost won the league. Again, same thing, same story. Now this season, everyone gets injured. Arteta doesn't sign anyone, everyone gets injured. We have 2 youngsters he promoted from Highland, Skelly and Wanyeri. What he can to do? Throw them into the team and see if it works. And again, it works. And everyone is gonna say, oh, Mikel Arteta masterclass, he gives youth a chance. No, he doesn't. Let's be real, he had no intention to give Skelly or Wanyeri the amount of chances they have gotten over the course of this season. Let's be real. Because the marquee signing Calafiori has been injured for multiple months overall. He doesn't trust Kieran Tierney. Zinchenko is as useful as an umbrella on a sunny day, so he has to throw Sterling in, so he has to put Skelly as a left back. Saka gets injured, Odegaard gets injured. Right? He doesn't play him when Odegaard is injured. He comes on for random minutes as a sub. Every single Arsenal fan basically lewds him for that. Slates him in on Twitter and everywhere. Calls him out, says he doesn't give youth a chance, he needs to play them. Saka gets injured. What he does? Tries Havertz there, doesn't work. Martinelli next game doesn't work. What he does? Puts Ethan there and it all of a sudden works. It's not a masterclass from Mikel Arteta. It's sheer luck that our youngsters are as good as they are, those two, that they could instantly step in. And ultimately that made this manager look like a genius at the end of the day. And to add on top of that, you are a good player, right? And for Arsenal, you're gonna play as long as you have the backing from the team, from the fans, sorry. Because Skelly and Wanyeri are 2 players, arguably who are the most backed youngsters in the history of Arsenal in a way. In the recent times. Not history, but in the recent times. Because the first one was Saka. He went right wing and everything worked out. But in recent times, in the last 4 or 5 years, obviously, it is Skelly and it is Wanyeri. Nobody had this support for Lokonga, Nuno Tavares, Alex Iwobi, and other players. And as long as the fan base supports these youngsters, they will play until then. Same as goes with some players. Obviously with Havertz it doesn't work like that, unfortunately, but he is now injured, so I cannot kind of salute him too much. But again, Havertz is not good enough at the end of the day. And now on top of that, what Arteta does when we cannot score, he throws Merino up top. And again, Wanyeri makes him score a goal, brilliant pass. Just put the head in the right direction, it goes in. Trossard crosses, another goal from Merino, 2-0. I'm telling you, this manager is like a cat. Cat has 9 lives, right? People say it's a saying and everything. A cat has 9 lives. Mikel Arteta has 9 lucks, basically. He gets lucked out. He lucks out every single time when something is not going for him. How can this work? How this manager gets so lucky? I want to know this. Want to know his sheer secrets for this luck. Ben White doesn't work at center back, put him at right back, it works. How he's gonna fix the center back hole? He puts Saliba there. What Arsenal fans were screaming for a year and a half. While he's going out on loan, why he's not playing. Even though he's winning player of the seasons pretty much at Ligue 1. Same goes for Havertz. Sign scheme doesn't work at midfield. What he can do, puts him at striker. Oh, it works. We have no options as a right wing when Saka goes down, as a left back when Calafiori is injured, he puts Skelly Wanyeri there. It works. All of a sudden. We cannot score goal, he throws Havertz up top. Half a season, last year, purple patch, it works. We cannot score goals this season, especially in the last few games. What he does, He throws Merino up top, it works. Then he has Jover by his side, right? We cannot score goals from open play. We cannot create from open play. Corners work. How lucky can this guy be? At some point, this rock has to come out. Can it be like he is very lucky during the season? He drains all his luck during the season, but when it comes to winning the trophy, the luck has run out. He cannot do it anymore. Could it be that? Because he's obviously not good enough. He needs some luck in that regard. And every Top Gooner, Arteta only fans and Arteta sexual was saying, this team is built to capitalize when Man City is gonna drop off. Well, they have dropped off this season. They're only 6 points behind us, by the way. How is that working out for you? Arne Slot in phase 1 is on top of the league, 7 points clear. How is that working for you? Like, round and round and round we go. But still, I cannot believe that these Arsenal fans are putting stuff like this out. Mikel Merino is the second coming of Robin van Persie. Like, are you seriously that deluded or what? Mikel Merino is the second coming of Robin van Persie. Come on, give over. Genuinely give the F over. These Top Gooners need to be stopped to this extent. How can you say he's next Van Persie? He's second coming of Van Persie. What the hell? He scored 2 goals. Was it luck? Yes, it was. Was it some skill? Yes, it was. Did he get us over the line? Yes, it was. But for Top Gooners to say that he's the second coming of Van Persie, he's our long-term striker number 9 solution right now. We should be playing him every single game as a number 9 till the end of the season. Let's be real. Let's be real. That is a sheer and utter stupidity at the end of the day. Yes, he's an option who can come off the bench. Yes, I totally agree with that, up top. Because teams have done it before. Usually they sub on center backs, but Arsenal have actually a midfielder they can sub on as well. But ultimately, besides that, that's it. That's it. Our attack is so useless. And Mikel Merino, after the game, got asked, did he know that he's going to play at striker? He said that he talked with Mikel Arteta on the game day in the morning. Arteta told him that he's going to get subbed on as a striker. It was a bit of a shock because he's never played as a striker in his life, in his footballing career. But hey, he rose to the challenge. Props to him. Big up to Mikel Merino. Then he got asked, will he play striker ever again? He said, no, I won't. Probably not. So what's going to happen next game when we cannot score? Who are we going to sub on then? Like, make it make sense. And let's not forget, if we sub on Merino at striker, by the way, that instantly takes away a substitution from the midfield. That is also the case. That takes our midfield substitutions away as well if we want to give someone a rest. So it's all over the place in a way. Arteta is panicking. He is panicking massively. Even 2 days ago, he had again that deer in headlights look when the camera panned to him in certain situations. There will be. It's not gonna work long term. It's not sustainable long term. And let's be real. The bottom line: which big club operates like this? No one. Let's be real. No one. So make that as you will. I just had to get this all off my chest. I just genuinely had to get this off my chest that Merino is not the long-term solution. Arteta is the luckiest manager on this planet Earth and everything. So let me know what you think about that down in comments below. I think for now, I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna. I'm ending the stream here. I'm gonna be back this evening with another stream. Kid you not, I'm gonna stream again. Since I have vacation, I can try and stream twice a day. That will be kind of fun. But yeah, for now, that will be it. So if you haven't already, like the stream, subscribe, hit that bell and everything. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Have a nice day. Enjoy your work and everything. I'm not gonna lie, kind of feeling kind of giddy given the fact that I don't have to go to work. So have a nice day. Enjoy your time, and see you all this evening at 8 p.m. UK time, by the way.